Good morning, my fellow yoga travelers. I'm mighty glad to be alive today, and I hope that you are too as we continue to live, laugh, love, learn, linger, and live the life we love. You know, one of my teachers, Ram Dass, used to say, everything I say is all about me, but there's nothing personal in it. So, in the same way, what I choose to talk about, however flawed my presentation, skewed my logic, and filled with the normal human suffering that everybody has, without putting myself out as a finished product. I'm not an enlightened human being. I have my own flaws, my own vices. I struggle with stuff every single day. But this is what makes sense to me, and I hope that I'm tapping into a common humanity that we all can relate to if we were in a talking circle or sharing circle and willing to say what the truth is, the raw truth, uh, even though we might get it wrong and fumble, but to the best of our ability, that's what we're putting out. So I'm fascinated by the idea of the relationship between thought and experience. I don't want to talk about it in terms of what I call karma, planting a seed and reaping the fruit. I'm just simply talking about what are the thoughts that we continue to entertain in our mind, and how does our life turn out, and is there any cause and effect? So first, I believe that I need to change or harmonize myself with the understanding of this law to reshape my life. It's called practicing the presence. It basically says if you really believe in the spirit, in some way you ought to be happy or cheerful, even if conditions are difficult or repugnant to you. If you hold on to that, it's only a matter of time before some positive aspect will reveal itself, right? In the midst of every adversity is the seed of an equal or equivalent benefit. So I have to act as if I have faith, because whatever I do voluntarily will really be the expression of my own belief. So I'm going to act out the part that I want to demonstrate and continue to claim spiritual dominion in my life. And that's the way I avoid some aspect of tenseness, anxiety, and strain. I don't think you can avoid all of it because you're a human being and that's part of being alive. So that's the way I try to work day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, building, because if you tear those things down, building and then followed by wrecking, that's why things don't get accomplished. So that's the first thing, is when I catch myself thinking negatively, I'm in touch with it, I don't deny it, I accept it, and then pratipraksha bhavana, according to Yoga Sutras, I go to the exact opposite. And so that brings me to the continuous study of what I call the collapse of the Sacred Canopy, the teachings that used to support the whole community, that everybody believed and everybody was on the same page. But that doesn't exist anymore, as Joseph Campbell so aptly coined the phrase, we're at the terminal moraine of all the old mythologies. They don't work anymore because in one way they were always land-based. The reality that the people saw was based on the geography where they lived. And now the only reality that is any sense for all of us, not some of us, all of us, is the planet. But we haven't evolved yet to that vision, although I think in the Aquarian age we can see it coming. So the first thing is I try to understand what is it to be sage-like, or to pursue wisdom, which means to see the unified experience, the glue that connects us all. Sometimes I call it being in the mind gym. Instead of working out your muscles, how do you work out your mind? And make this quantum leap of an additional potential that we all have, which is to see the unity of existence and not the differentiation. So we have to be like spiritually Star Trek Trekkies, right, on the Enterprise, boldly going where no one has gone before, which is to see the unity of all our species and not see the differentiation as a separation, but something to be glorified in the coat of many colors. So, yes, do I weep for the tragedy that's happening and has always happened through history? For sure. But am I going to let it frighten me and take away my hope? No, because I have faith in the future, faith in the young people, faith as I had when I was a young person and I pass on to young people now. It's a humongous task. It's not going to happen in a year or 10 years or 20 years. This is the ongoing movement of the evolutionary lurch of history for humanity to continue to discover how we are the dream of the universe perceiving itself. So for all my friends who are my age or even slightly younger, we have to transmit what we know to the younger generation. One of my stock phrases is when I was younger, I was looking for the ritual elder, couldn't find any, ended up having to turn into the ritual elder myself. So this is a conversation that needs to be heard. I'm totally into cooperation and not competition. I stopped pretending a long time ago that I can go it alone or we can go it alone. We don't get it together alone. And although it's increasingly difficult to know exactly what to do, none of us are as smart as all of us. So I try to think tank with as many people as I can and provoke the best out of us that we're capable of. When I meet with people, and I hope this is a blessing to take with you, I always assume that the other person has something to offer me. Otherwise, what would be the sense in talking? I know what I have to say, but I don't know what you have to say. So I'm really interested in letting you share and hopefully gleaning something from that, learning something from that. Even if I'm have to confront being challenged or hearing what I don't like, I'm going to still live my life curious about the diversity, knowing that if I do that, the deeper order will show itself.